All right, so before we start this video, I want you guys to keep something in mind, and that is that programming does not equal computer science. Computer science teaches you how to understand data structures and complexity. It also delivers mathematical fundamentals, of course, like calculus, discrete mathematics, linear algebra, probability statistics, and a few other mathematical classes that you might or might not like. That being said, most computer science degrees will teach you programming fundamentals, and depending on how your curriculum is structured at your school or your university, you'll have the choice to choose between web development, maybe game development, also embedded systems, informational systems, and probably many more. Now, I'm a final year student with 2 courses left before graduation day, and I've decided to make this video in order to help you guys on whether a computer science degree is worth it or not. So I want to make this video as smooth as possible, and I decided to break this video into 3 parts. We are going to be talking about low-level fundamentals, then we're going to be moving into job opportunities, and at the very end, I'm going to be touching slightly on student debt. Within the computer science degree, you'll find courses that will teach you the fundamentals of computing as well as programming. Subconsciously, you'll start sort of developing a better logical reasoning. Now, having such fundamentals, whether they are transmitted to you in a mathematical way or not, it can become very useful when it comes to software development. For example, discrete mathematics, it's sort of an introduction to mathematical computing. It's a class I hated, but it's a class that introduces you to the world of computing and how everything is sort of discrete in computer software. Throughout my degree, I was introduced to proper programming, more specifically in the realm of Java, meaning that I got to learn about classes and objects, proper usage of object-oriented programming, recursion, data structures and algorithm, and many other subjects that will become useful to you in your career as a programmer. Most degrees also explore the fundamentals of computer hardware. In other words, you'll explore the communication between computers at a physical level. In my case, I had a class where we focused on the development of a tiny CPU using logical gates on a breadboard, and then towards the end of that class, we got to learn about assembly. My degree exposed me to programming's paradigms too. By the way, programming's paradigms refers to the style of programming, where you have 2 types of global paradigms, imperative and declarative programming. Within those, you will find OOP, procedural programming, logical programming, and many more which I don't quite recall. So why am I mentioning all of this to you? Well, overall, the computer science degree teaches you low-level fundamentals, and this will allow you to start at the very bottom of the tech stack. You don't start with web development or mobile development or even game development off the bat.
First I did some coding for it, and then I added the gun model. Then I made some particles using Unity's particle.
In fact, the curriculum is structured in such a way that throughout the years, you'll subconsciously start gathering logical reasoning in order to help you in your programming career. Now that I have 2 classes left with my degree, I sort of get it now. I get what the whole computer science degree is all about. This semester is probably one of the coolest ones simply because I get to use all the Java knowledge I've accumulated over the past few years and implement it within my distributed systems class, my web enterprise and application design class, and my computer network class. Even though these classes aren't teaching me about the current technologies that are out there within the industry right now, they teach me about the fundamentals of web services and applications, which is pretty much the stream I chose within my final year of computer science. So I can't deny anymore the fact that maybe the degree wasn't such a bad idea. Am I fed up? 100% I'm fed up, and mainly because school is not my cup of tea. But objectively, it was good for me. Now, throughout the degree, I do recommend you guys go out there and learn by yourselves the current technologies that are being used right now in the workforce. Whether that's Unity, C#, JavaScript, Xcode, Android development, you name it, just make sure you're learning things outside of school. Even though you won't totally understand these technologies at first, towards the end of your bachelor's, things will start to click. Again, make sure you're building projects and allocate the right amount of time to your development learning. You don't need a degree to get a job, and if you think you need one, well, you're completely lying to yourself. In fact, you don't need a degree at all to make a lot of money if that's what you're worried about. If you want to be a good web developer, you don't really need to go to school for it. But if you want to start diving into AI, machine learning, embedded engineering, biomedical industry, fintech, and government jobs, then it's a different story. Unless you're smart, of course. So job opportunities will massively increase for the average Joe like myself with a CS degree. Having a degree is sort of like having a plan B all the time, not to mention that your ability to move higher up within a company can massively increase. And I know for a fact that a company will use the lack of a degree to pay you less. Throughout these semesters, I've maybe met around a total of 10 people that had to come back from the industry to get a computer science degree. But to be honest, there was this one specific guy that really caught my attention, mainly because we were lab partners. But this guy was 50 years old, 20 plus years in IT and consulting, and he had to go back to school to get a computer science degree because he was capping. According to him, all the companies he tried to apply to kept using the lack of a degree as a reason to pay him less. And the worst part about this story is that the ability for him to move up within the company he had been working for the past 10 years was pretty much non-existent. I don't know, it just mind boggles me. You also have to consider the fact that within high demand companies, they tend to filter people out with the degree criteria. Does it suck? Totally, because there are a bunch of morons within my computer science degree that will graduate. But that's the name of the game. It also depends on your area. In San Francisco, for example, it seems like any internship or job will require you to have a computer science degree, an electrical engineering degree, a computer engineering degree, a software engineering degree, even a math degree, or any sort of related degree to programming, I guess. So I suggest you browse Indeed or even LinkedIn jobs to see what your area is like. But just keep in mind that a computer science degree will open your doors. Alright, so I'm no financial advisor, I'm also no Graham Stephan, but I do believe strongly that the system isn't doing a very good job at educating us in terms of finances. In the United States, student debts don't go away, meaning that student loans are very rarely likely to be discharged in a bankruptcy court. Student debt in North America can massively reach highs up to $100,000 for your whole degree. Now you gotta put things into perspective and ask yourself, is getting a degree financially worth it for you? In my opinion, I think that if you really want to get a degree, I would learn development by myself, get a good paying job, work a few years, save all that money in order to pay for a computer science degree later down the road. Personal finance is very complex and it's something that is way out of the realm of a YouTube channel, but I do suggest you guys think about the drawbacks that student debt can bring into your life. Even though computer science jobs pay very well, the average consumer is simply not ready to handle that debt at all. There's a lot of factors that go into having the ability to carry out such massive debts, and it's just all a question about asking yourself, is a computer science degree worth it or not? This is just a point that I really wanted to touch upon because I don't see many people talking about this. So do yourself a favor and do consult a trustworthy financial advisor. For those who know me, you guys know that I'm currently not planning to go get a job after my degree is done within these few months, mainly because the dream of working for myself is currently being fulfilled. Now you might be wondering, why did you do a computer science degree then, Mr. Entrepreneurial Man? First of all, I come from a country where if you have no degree, you're practically no one, aka immigrant mentality, aka immigrant parents.
You doctor yet?
No, Dad, I'm 12.
Talk to me when you doctor.
Also, I live in Quebec, Canada, and even though Quebec's population is one of the most taxed populations in the entire world in relation to its GDP, of course, school is extremely cheap. And the very last point I'd like to mention is that back in 2017, when I started my university degree, I pretty much had nothing going on, no reason to really be a school dropout. And if I had chosen to be a school dropout back then, I think that would have been the most stupid idea ever. I'm not trying to downplay people without degrees. In fact, if you've made it without a degree, in my book, you're a boss ass bitch. I personally hate school. The education system is completely crapped out. I hate the culture. I've hated every single bit of all the freaking school years I've had, except high school. Those were the funnest days. But to be honest, guys, at the end of the day, it all comes to playing the game. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you. I've tried to be as objective as I could because believe me, if this was a subjective video, I would have gone into a massive rant in terms of the education system and school in general. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hit 100,000 subs as soon as possible. Enjoy your day, guys. Peace.
Bye.